Okay, so coming to the poem called as Animals, which is written by Walt Whitman in the year of 1819 to 1819 to. Yes, am I audible? Uh, 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 sorry, sorry.
Hello.
Sorry, sorry. I thought like it is. Yeah. Now my voice is audible. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, uh, so the poem "Animals," which is written by Walt Whitman, uh, was born in the year of 1819 to 1892. It's one of the poem of first flight. Let's see that what this poem is all about. Uh, what do I point out in this particular poem? That this is a poem which is clearly highlighting the uh, ideas relating to the man versus animal. So, as far as on the basis of that, the title is given animals. So, before we go for that poem, let me introduce you the poet of this poem. So, who is he? Uh, he was none other than Walt Whitman, 1819 to 1892. His uh, duration or lifespan that he spent, uh, and he was one of the best uh, poet, um, a young man who uh, you know who created a unique field in the poem case, or in the field of the poetry. So less than 100 years after the United States was founded, the new nation found its voice in a poet who spoke to the entire world. His name was not nothing but Walt Whitman. So Whitman was considered the father of free voice or free verse. What do you mean by free verse? The meaning of free verse is called as a blank verse. It means there is no rhyming scheme in the poem. Free verse is a poetry. Free verse is poetry without regular patterns of rhyme or called as a meter. So rhyming scheme or meter that has not been considered regular in the poem. So, and Walt Whitman's uniqueness that you find out in this particular part, that what uh, his poem or his poetry has no regular pattern of rhyming scheme or meter. So let's quickly go back to the poem. So animals. If I talk about this animal poem, so the poem is very interesting and a philosophical one. While we discuss about the poem, we also discuss the ornamental things contained into it. Let's say that the poem begins with I think I could turn and live with the animals. They are so placid and self contained. I stand and look at them long and long, long and long. Okay. Sorry, this one is called as a wrong because long and long is called as a repetition. Repetition. This is something repetition. So we can say that uh, this is a repetition. Okay. So fine. We will discuss about it. I think I could turn and leave with animals. They are so placid and self contained. I stand and look at them long and long. So the poet says that what? he wants to live in the world of animals. How do you draw that? Now you can see the poet here writes at the beginning of the line that I think I possibly turn and live with animals. So they are so placid and self-contained. It means these uh, animals who are so calm. Here we can say that the poet finds the world of animals, right? So who live in a calm manner, self-contained, self-satisfaction, self-satisfied, and I stand and look at them long and long. So the poet finds out these animals are better than that of human beings. In case of calmness, self-satisfaction, so in that case means animals are better than human being. So he further says that he finds animals more peaceful than humans. So why does he point at self-contained and placid? Now, if you talk about that, the meaning of self-contained indicates that animals are not running after worldly things like human beings. They are calm. They have no greedy attitude. Means they do not look for the materialistic desire. They don't have that, or they do not look for any kind of achievements. Uh, they are self-satisfied. It means they are happy with life and never interferes. You can say that in the lives of others. Humans have the habit of interfering in the lives of others, and humans do carry means unlimitation of desire and the violence, as well as means creating a kind of a clatter in the society, means not peace. The poet therefore point out that he wants to live with animals, right? So these are called as a region. The poet further says that these are means actually indication that why does he stand still and look at the animals for a very long time. This is what the region for which he observes and he finds that animals are familiar, right? So while we discuss about this poem, so what do we find out? We find out I think I could turn, right? So here the term like I, so I, so and I think. So in that case, you will find out this can be called as a assonance. Why assonance? Because it is repeating the vowel sound. Assonance. So similar to that, we have also a repetition, and also we find out that uh, you can say, I think I could turn and live with animals. So repetition of this I and I can be called as also anaphora, right? Consecutively, because I think is different and I could is also different in that case. Now look into the next one. The next one is called as, am I clear with the first stanza?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Look into the next one. The next one is called as a, they do not sweat and whine about their condition. They do not lie awake in the dark and weep for their sins. They do not make me sick discussing their duty to God. Not one is dissatisfied, not one is demented with the mania of owning things. If you see that when you are talking about sweat and wine, the meaning of sweat and wine is called as human beings do hard working, sweating, hard working. Why? Now, to get the achievement, and also cry about their condition. About their condition means that's called as a human being's condition. So they do not lie awake in the dark and weep for their sins. But in the case of animals, animals do not lie awake. So means that is what is called as a good part of the animals. They do not lie awake in the dark and they cry for their sins. So animals do not repent, realize that they did any kind of a mistake. So in this case, the poet says means animals are uh, not like human being. So they don't complain, they don't show their unhappiness, they never cry out loud like humans do to show what they have lost. So you can see that they do not see lie awake in the dark and weep for their sins. Sins means called as the bad things that they did. They never stay awake in the night crying in repentance. Repentance means called as realizing of their wrongdoings. So sins can be also called as a wrongdoings. So this means that animals are different from human beings because they don't show means what discussing they don't show their anger or grief if something wrong happens with them. So they do not make me sick discussing their duty to God. Not one is dissatisfied, not one is demented with the mania of owning things. So the poet clearly stated that they do not make me uh, sick, means irritating, right? And or discussing why now discussing their duty to God, right? So or telling the name of God or called as a good deeds done in the name of God. So the poet says, because most of the human beings do this. So they do the bad things, they talk about the duty to God, right? So they try to show their good deeds and religiousness to others, right? They do so in order to gain popularity among their fellows. So the poet thinks that animals never irritate him by doing such things just to gain some praise from their fellow people. So even you would find out he feels, the poet feels that the animals are not, one is dissatisfied, not one is demented. So he feels that the animals stay happy with whatever they have. They are not dissatisfied like humans. They never run behind worldly things. So the mania of owning things, mania means what? Craziness, craziness of possessing things. So they also do not think about comfort or luxury. None of them is mad behind owning the worldly things. So while we are discussing this, we find out anaphora, right? You can easily find out that they do not, right? So also sweat and wine, which is using with the hard working and cry. So that is why it is also indication of means it is also indication of means you can say metaphor. So fine. So yep, understood the second one,
Yes, sir.
Amritamai.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Prince, do you understand that also?
Yes, sir.
Prince?
Hello. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now look into the next one. Not one kneels to another, not to his kind that. Not one kneels to another, not to his kind that. Lived thousands of years ago. Not one is respectable or unhappy over the whole earth. So they show their relations to me and I accept them. They bring me tokens of myself. They evince them plainly in their possession. Now, if you observe this, so here we find out the poet wants to convey the message that he has never seen any animal showing his devotion. Not one kneels to another. So not a single animal shows or bend down before the another animal. not to his kind, not to his group animals, or not to his same breed, not to other breed who have lived thousands of years ago. So you could find out this is what uh, indication of animals, right? That they have never seen, they have never means bow down themselves in front of the person. They never do so even for their means thousands of years ancestor, right? They do not show devotion towards God also. Not one is respectable, unhappy over the whole earth, right? So no one among them is more respectable or important as we have in human society. In human society, what happens? We give importance, right? So rich people are generally given more importance and are treated with more respect as compared to the poor. But in the society of animals, they never do so. They never give more or less importance to any other animal. Everyone in the animal world is happy. They are not like human beings who find themselves the happiest or the saddest person on earth. Therefore, even you can talk about the poet wants to convey the message that animals are more honest in showing their relations with other animals. So he wants to say that the poet wants to say that animals use other animals means as their food. No, and they never try to hide this also. Whereas human beings show that they have nice and friendly relations with others, though the reality is opposite. So, what does the poet says that he accepts the fact that animals are true towards showing their relation with other animals. Now, that is what you will draw here. That not one is respectable or unhappy over the whole earth. So nobody shows the kind of a respect, right, or unhappiness over their own breed or other breed animals. They show their relations to me and I accept them. So whatever their relations, so they are truly show it. They bring me tokens of myself. Here tokens means qualities. They teach me the qualities. They evince them plainly in their possession. So here tokens is called as a metaphor, the inner qualities of humans. So that is what referred as a tokens. So the poet wants to convey a message that what now all these animals, right, picturized their true picture, right, true qualities, whatever their relations to me, and I accept them. So they don't have the same kind of qualities like the human beings have. No, so human beings do change their mind, right? So they look at the qualities or they look at the wealth, and on the basis of that they change. So but animals are not like that. So they bring me to qualities of myself. Qualities of myself means they show me the actual quality. They evince them. So when we say that evince, so they reveal. Evince means what? That called as a they reveal. They reveal what? Now they're simple uh, or called as a realistic things. So what they possess actually. So that human being don't have. Okay. So coming to the next one, this becomes the last one. So what do we find out? I wonder where they get those tokens. Did I pass that way huge times ago and negligently drop them? So the last line is a kind of a question, right? Did I pass that way huge times ago and negligently drop them? So negligently means something which is a carelessly. So at last the poet actually uh, clearly indicating or presenting himself and says that from where the animals got those, right? got those tokens, got those tokens here. So here tokens means good qualities. He further questions himself that where his own good qualities are gone. Did I pass that way huge times ago? So he was telling about the animal's good qualities, and the other part he was telling about what about his good times. Did he left leave them or did he leave them or had carelessly lost them somewhere? So negligently. Did he negligently or carelessly drive somewhere? The qualities that were found in human beings in the past, right? Like innocence, kindness, truthfulness, diligence, respect, politeness, they are now seen in animals. So that's why he was telling that means those are present with them, but those are he lose somewhere in the past carelessly a long time back, right? So in all these cases, we find out that the poet is turning away from living in the world of human beings and finds animals more suitable or called as finds animals suitable to live with them, right? So three things here you will find out here that's called as a uh, human being do complain, cry about the miseries and sorrows they face. Human being lie awake in the night thinking about their bad wrongdoings. Human being also keep telling others about their religious and duties towards God. But that's what animals don't do. Humans even kneel to other humans who lived thousands of years ago. They could be, ancestors, saints, or preachers whom they follow religiously. They worship them and follow their lecture. But animals don't do that. So that is why the poet clearly stated that uh, these human being or the human being here did what? Now, good qualities are not exist in them, exist in human beings. They have lost them. So human beings have lost those good qualities. Why? Now, for the benefit of worldly things, for the benefit of worldly things. So, which animals want to achieve, or animals achieve that? And the poet uh, stated that these are the reasons for which he wants to live with them. So, this is what the summary. I hope you understood the whole poem.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, that's all for the poem. Animals will meet in the next class. Till then, bye bye. Thank you.
Bye, sir. Good night, sir.
Mm,
Thank you, sir.
mm.